On the spot news media, we got the latest news. We don't care about the views, we just representing right. Put local news internationally every night. On the spot, wave that Jamaican flag from left to right. Let's get it right, y'all know the type. We ain't dealing with the hype. We make it take flight.
Yeah, man, my viewers and subscribers, what go on? A blessed and wonderful Monday morning to each and every person out there tuning into On The Spot News Media. Now, my peeps, you don't know how we do it over on this side each and every morning. We have to give thanks and praise to the Most High Creator for the preservation of life, because life is indeed the greatest. So in the morning, my peeps, I have a few stories to share with you, the regular members of Chan Public and also members of the diaspora. So please like the video, share the video, watch the entire vlog so you can get a full understanding and a better appreciation of everything we are going in Jamaica. So watch this now, my peeps. We're going to kick it off in the morning with some updates. Now, the first update is coming out of the troubled, war-torn, crime-riddled St. Catherine South Police Division, where a teen has been arrested by the police in connection with a fatal knockings and clappings at a vigil in Portmore, St. Catherine on Thursday. So the criminal element who was held on Thursday in Gregory Park is said to be a mechanic. Now, the deceased man in question, who was on the receiving end of those fatal bullets, has since been identified as Dick Uriah Palmer. He is known as Children in our streets. The now deceased Palmer is said to be from a Cumberland Meadows address in Portmore, St. Catherine. Now, police reports suggested that sometime around 1 a.m. on Thursday, Uriah Palmer was at a vigil in Caymanas Gardens in Gregory Park when he was approached by the criminal element. After a brief conversation with him, the man reportedly brandished a handgun and fired several cans, hitting him all over the upper body. The gunman then ran from the scene and escaped in the community on foot. Palmer ran to a nearby premises where he was assisted to the Spanish Town Hospital, where he lost his life whilst undergoing treatment. So a probe was launched by the Portmore Criminal Investigation Branch, which resulted in the arrest of the criminal element. Now, On The Spot News Media will most definitely be keeping you updated as this investigation progresses. Yeah, man. Now, the next update, my peeps, is coming out of the St. Catherine North Police Division. Now, a few days ago, I made mention about this criminal element here, presently on your screen, identified as Clive Walker, but them call him Black Babe in our streets. Now, in that vlog, I made mention that police personnel went on an operation in a section of Linstead known as Commodore District in search of wanted men and illegal weapons. Now the police them approach a premises, and who and behold, this man presently on your screen, Tyson Walker, confronted the police. A brief knockings and clappings go on between them and the police, and Tyson Walker, aka Beefy, end up lose 3 pints. Now, Beefy is said to be the brother of Clive Walker, aka Black Babe. But when the knockings and clappings start, Clive Walker see where I go on and take him foot quick and fast out of place. So he was mentioned on this program and warned for turning himself or face the consequences. Now, he definitely listened and turned himself over to the police over the weekend with his lawyer. Now, he's presently behind bars. So right there and then, yeah man, another decent spot of work again by the squaddy them. Yeah man. Now, the next update we're going to talk about, my peeps, is coming out of the Westmoreland Police Division, where a farmer has been charged officially with the fatal knockings and clappings of a man in the Baptist Lane area in Bridgewater in the parish of Westmoreland. It took place on the 29th of June in 2023. Now, the criminal element who has been charged by the police has since been identified as 32-year-old Oral Morris, but he is known as Fisherman, and he is from the Berkshire district in Dundee, Westmoreland. Now, reports reaching on the Spot News Media is that sometime around 5:45 p.m., the 22-year-old farmer, the now deceased Lionel Blake, otherwise known as Messi, was driving a motor car along the main road when a motorcycle with the now charged O'Neill Morris aboard. It is stated that he was the pillion on that motorcycle. It is stated that the criminal element then pulled a firearm, opened gunfire, hitting the now deceased multiple times in the upper body before escaping in the area on the said motorcycle. The police were alerted, and upon the arrival of the police, Blake was transported to the hospital where he was pronounced you know what. Following an investigation into that knockings and clappings, the criminal element Morris was then taken into custody on the 13th of August during an operation. He was charged on Saturday after a question and answer session in the presence of his attorney. His court date is being finalized, and the other man is currently being sought by the police. That's the rider of the bike. So anyone having any information surrounding the whereabouts of the rider, please alert the Savannah Lamar Police Station. Yeah, man. Now for this morning's main set of stories, we're going to talk about this criminal element again, who is presently on your screen. We are talking about Carlos Vassell, aka Niney. Presently behind bars, but somehow rose to prominence to become a don for people who are free out there in the general jungle, top jungle community. Now, top jungle, definitely in the community of Arnett Gardens. Niney, well, Carlos Vassell, aka Niney, has been in prison for a mighty, and might I add, mighty long time. So most of those who is the alleged done over have never met this man personally. Most of the little youngins, the little criminal elements, them, the little fallabackers, them go grow up, come hear stories about Niney. So for the love of God, me personally just don't understand how a man who is presently behind bars, incarcerated, is ruling over a whole community with an iron fist. Me not get it. Make that make sense. But anyway, I've done several vlogs about this criminal element who was plotting with others to form a one jungle system, a one Arnett Garden system, where only one man is the supreme don. And he wanted to be that one supreme don. Something similar to what was done in the past with Denham Town and Tivoli Gardens, where Dodos and his father, whilst his father was alive, and handing it over to another brother, handing it over to Dodos, they just only had one supreme don at a time. So Niney wanted to form something similar. However, the powers that be would not allow that. So Niney joined forces with others, colluded with others, brainwash others, and continue to get into the minds of people. There is a certain political activist. She know herself. I've spoken about her several times. I've even warned her about her involvement getting mixed up with Niney. I've even stated that there is no loyalty among thieves. But that particular political representative, the councillor, never take heed to the warning. Now we get to understand say she and Niney in a hot water. And now what caused the bitter blood between them is even more laughable. Now since we are now in the political uproar in Jamaica, Niney link her up and say him want about 10 PNP t-shirt. Because of course I don't know in a prison, a muggling thing go on in a prison right through. So of course him want to muggle and represent Theme Party because you know say up in the jungle so. The opposition leader Mark Golding at the MP. So him want to show out the Theme political party, which of course every man have a right to decide who he want to vote for. So that's separate from the point. Now the point what me I make is that a t-shirt the riff I come from because she said she couldn't send so much to give him. Now Niney start make threats. Sending out threats on her life. Now she is in fear. Turning to the same police for help. The same police where she clearly make it be known publicly say she not like. Which one would understand in the context of where she's coming from. Because she have a son who lost his life to the hands of law enforcement. Not innocent by a long shot because her son was a known and reputed criminal element. But now she's fearful because she knows the power and the reach of Niney. So now we are going to just sit back and watch how this one is going to play out because I'm pretty sure that at some point in time, the hierarchy of the political environment in that era will step in, speak to who needs to be spoken to, and probably quash it. And I would hope that they do before this thing spiral out of control. Because as bad as things be, we don't really want to see no form of bloodshed in the place again. But I say this to say that there is no loyalty among thieves, people of Jamaica. Stay away from persons who are known criminal elements. In other words, in our Jamaican tongue and terms, them can't change. Yeah, man. Now, the next thing that we are going to talk about, my peeps, is still in the Kingston Western Police Division, where this female, presently on your screen, is presently behind bars for using a knife to take the life of this young man, presently on your screen identified as Jerome Harris, but he's known as Farin in our streets. Now one would ask why a woman would use a knife and take a man's life. Now the male in question is said to be her child's father. So all was well when boy meets girl, fall in love and lay down and create a baby. Then boom, things no work out. Mother and child go east. Father went west, moved on with his life and found himself a new girl. She also too moved on with her life. It is said that he is somewhere in his 20s and she is in her mid-30s, about 34 or 35 years old. So what go on now is that she went public on social media, inciting that the youth, Jerome Harris, aka Finey, is one of them little walkless poopa there. We don't mind them pitney. So she continued to rant on social media. So the young man became really suspicious for whatsoever reason there was, and decided to, you don't know, start jump round for win back her confidence so she can start leave him with the child more often. So him start playing like a part in her child life. But for some reason, him decided to take the child to do a DNA test. I have all of this on video footage when the child was being tested. In fact, on your screen is the DNA results. Now, the father was surprised to find out that he made it on the Murray Show or Jerry Springer and was told, "You are not the father." So the young man was enraged and presented the result of the DNA to her. And of course, made it publicly known, said the pitney and a fame, and he needed back every single penny that he spent on the child. Now she was rather feeling ashamed of what was publicly stated and decided that for what he did to publicly humiliate her, she got to take him 3 pints. And she saw him Sunday morning at a shop, a popular shop in the area. And they had a verbal turn, physical altercation in which she used a knife to knife him. That first injury was not fatal. So he went to her and stated that, "Hey, you really knifed me over my own money." And she got enraged and just knifed him up some more. This time, sadly though, leaving him lifeless. So now she's in the custody of the police. The father is no longer among the land of the living. And now we have a child in limbo. No mother. The father that he knew is no longer among the land of the living. And he does not know who his real father is. So who is at a great loss at the end of the day? The man will lie down upon a block of ice. And of course, the child. Really, really sad. Boy, me I tell you my peeps. The thing rough. So anyway, remember to like, share, subscribe to the channel. Stay tuned to On The Spot News Media as I continue to bring you fresh news and updates in subsequent newscast. On The Spot News Media. Yeah, man.